Really interesting times. Politics, we're back at it again, one way or the other, a build up to the National Assembly leadership tussle. I have with me in the studio smart Apejoye as well as Dr. Dayo, Kayode, and they will be doing justice to this morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good morning.
Nice being here.
Right. Let's start with The Guardian. This is where we start from this morning. Senate leadership legislators disagree over voting method. And Ndume camp canvasses secret voting. Lawan group insists on open ballot. Okay, let's move from there, from The Guardian. Let's go to The Nation. The Nation newspaper is next now. Governors lose more amid battle for local government funds. Assembly, judiciary allocations gone, and Buhari urged to stop NFIU. Okay, that controversy is still on. Let's move from there. From The Nation, let's go to The Blueprint. Governors, why local government financial autonomy won't work. That's on The Blueprint. And say NFIU stalking mischief and urge Buhari's intervention. Okay, and that's Blueprint. Okay, from The Blueprint, let's go to Daily Sun. Senate leadership tussle gets messy. Allegation of arrest plots before inauguration unsettles National Assembly. Ndume allowance camps in intense lobby over voting method. Okay, we'll be looking at that certainly. From Daily Sun, let's go to This Day. Adamawa, Kano, Ogun, Oyo, top list of Buhari's aides. And Ogun, Edo, Imo dominate boards, agencies role. And Southwest, Southwest, Northwest, Northeast lead in political appointments. Okay, that's what This Day has right now. And let's finally go now to the Nigeria Tribune. That's the last one now. Governors reject local government accounts monitoring by NFIU, want Buhari to call it to order. Okay, that's what the Nigerian Tribune is saying. All right, gentlemen, I'd like us to talk about the build-up to the leadership of the National Assembly. Things are getting quite, one would say, interesting, or that would say getting messier like the Sun will put it. Senate leadership tussle gets messy. Now, the controversy of open ballots, closed ballot system, or open ballot, or secret ballot rather, as the case may be. I wonder why that should be an issue of controversy. Dr. Kayode, let me start with you on this.
Yeah, you see, for me, there is a standard that they have at the Senate. They have a voting pattern. They have the modus operandi of which you guide their voting activities. So what is that guideline saying? Is it about open ballot or secret ballot? Then most especially, this is a very, very important position that they're about to vote for. So why can't we go? Why is somebody afraid? You don't understand. Why do you
think somebody is afraid?
I think somebody is afraid somewhere. You know, somebody is trying to play funny somewhere. Let us go secret ballot. Even the election that brought all of them to that Senate was through what?
Secret ballot.
Secret ballot. But my own problem is not about who leads the Senate or who doesn't lead the Senate, the way they vote or not.
But the National Assembly doesn't feel the same way you feel.
What I'm saying is, you see, my own concern...
Oh, sorry, the ruling party.
What I'm saying is either somebody is ruling or not ruling. Mine is all these people should stop being, how do I put it now, epicaricacious.
Okay.
Do you understand?
That's a new one we have to learn.
I'm telling you. You know why? Because they're always there making people to suffer. I can remember sometimes ago somebody was saying, look, the disparity between the rich and the poor is becoming too much. Let us from here see how we can guide it.
Okay.
You're going to see how rowdy the place was.
All right, let me bring Smart into this now. Smart, the point there is, at this level, we've seen, even in 2015, there were allegations that the House, the standing rules and all of that were tampered with and all of that. There are also, we're also hearing speculations around all of those now as far as this next National Assembly is concerned. How challenging, or what do you think is there that there can't be a standing order where everyone knows this is what is obtainable?
You see, the standard is always there. It is only when, let us narrow it now to the National Assembly, if they want to do something funny, that is only when they will now start looking for other ways out. There is a standard procedure for voting in the House. In the first place, just like Kayode said, look, the system that brought you in is through the secret ballots. Why now do you want it to make it open? So it is so that because you can know the members that voted for you, so that perhaps if they did not vote for whom the party wants, there could be sanctioned, there could be any this thing. I have said this thing over and over at various fora. Look, for goodness sake, if APC has done their homework properly, they shouldn't have been caused for this. The reason is because, in the first place, you have zoned the Senate to a particular zone. Within that zone, let them come up with whom they want. Simple. But if you're not doing it that way, you now say you want to pick somebody for them, it is wrong. You can't do that.
Totally wrong.
Where you zone it, to the area where you have zoned it, they have almost about 5 or 4 states within that zone. And that means they have about 12 senators.
There are 6 states from...
Yes, okay, 6 states from that. They have, so that means they have almost about 18 senators. So if they have about 18 senators, you now want to impose a senator on them? No. Look, just say, okay,
do you see that as an imposition?
Yeah, I see it as. Okay. I see it as, because, look, what the party could have just said is that, look, we have no preference for social person. We have no preference for anybody. You are all our party members, and you are all capable to lead the country, to even lead the Senate. Please, within yourself, go and come up with somebody within now and the next few weeks and bring that person to us. We will do our own background check. If it is okay, we will let you know, and that is the person we canvass for. Right. But when you now brought somebody and said, this is whom you want, it is wrong. It will be chaos. Don't forget, you'll be shocked at what the turnout, what the outcome.
All right, Dr. Kayode, are you expecting some drama in the Senate on the 2nd of June?
The moment they came up with the name of Lawan, I said it straight away. I said, look, we're expecting a play out of what happened in 2015. Exactly. And you can see what is happening now. Incidentally, Ndume was saying, look, I have gone to the president. And this is the president that said, yes, you are going to be the next Senate president. You know what the series of suspensions he had during the 8th Assembly? Just because he was supporting the president in the Senate. And then somebody is now coming. Just because of one thing or the other, you now want to bring in Lawan. You see, no, that Lawan,
is that what he's banking on?
No, that Lawan is not qualified. But the issue is,
I'm not against bringing in Lawan.
The way the party
the procedure is what I'm challenging.
But is that what he was? Is that what he is banking on? Because
you mean Ndume?
Yes.
No, Ndume too is doing his own work.
Okay.
If you follow Ndume in the 8th Assembly,
qualified.
you're going to see how he carried himself. You know that he has that senatorial character in him.
Well, all the candidates, as far as we're concerned, have what it takes to lead the National Assembly. As far as from what we see.
So within that, like I've said, within that 6 states, please let them put their home in order and come up with somebody.
It's too late.
You will be shocked. Yes, it is too late.
It's too late.
Yes, it is too late.
Exactly.
But you'll be shocked at the outcome that, again, that could probably be what we are going to battle with.
They should just allow them now. They should just allow them to play it out among themselves without coming in again.
But just like you said, it's late. It's late already.
Yeah, but
the party has come out to endorse someone.
The party can still do some damage control by coming out. Okay, look, Ndume, we recognize you. Everybody go to the field. Go and do your homework. While they will pretend to withdraw from the battleground. But meanwhile, they might be working underground for whoever they want there.
Okay.
So that we don't see another 8th assembly repeating itself.
In all of this, the current Senate President Bukola Saraki is just sitting down.
Don't say that. He's working 200 grand.
What role do you think he's going to play in all of this?
As far as I'm concerned, Bukola Saraki will be working against the interests of the APC.
Period.
He'll be working against it, and either you like it or not, it's not only Bukola Saraki, Bukola Saraki has an influence among the senators. They respect him. So also is David Mark. Even though David Mark is not even coming this time. But let me tell you, these are the people that they were brought in to talk to talk to some of these, more especially those ones that are returning, that they have had fraternity with, and you see it will go the way that the Bukola Sarakis want it.
Exactly.
So obviously, it looks from what you're saying now, it looks like there are forces going to work against the candidate of the APC.
Yeah.
You see,
I see forces working against it.
If you permit me to say it again and again and again, let's wait till then. Ndume is our next Senate president.
Wow.
Take it or leave it.
Are you
Take it or leave
but
it.
you're not going to be in the Senate.
I'm not going to be, but I've seen it.
You've declared the Senate already. You've declared the Senate president.
I have seen the way the thing is moving. The way the thing is moving, because what happened in its assembly is what is repeating itself now. They opened the Hornets then, and the same thing they have done now. If before now they have decided to keep, even look at what is also happening in the House of Reps. Just yesterday, about 5 of them, they said, okay, they are withdrawing their candidacy, they are supporting. It's all hues of lies.
You'll be shocked at the outcome of the House of Reps.
This is what we call politicking.
So would you say that the ruling party has made a mistake in their approach to this?
Yes.
They have always been making that mistake.
Smart.
Let me narrow it to this present time. I don't want to use they have always been. To this particular one, they have made mistake with the tactics they are employing. Yeah. What they could have done is that, look, you've zoned these positions to these particular places, call those caucus into order. Just call them into a meeting and say, look, this is whom the party have interest with. But however, you are free. Can we get your yes?
All right. Dr. Kayode, you were talking about damage control. What kind of damage control can be put in place right now?
Yeah, the issue is, let the leadership of the party come out and say, look, all of you are qualified. Let everybody go to the field. Don't play dirty. Just go there. You have the same family. You belong to the same family. Go there and do your own work. And then let them withdraw their open support for Lawan, so that Ndume will not feel slighted again. Because as Ndume is feeling slighted, that here is the party I worked for. And look at them now withdrawing their support for me when I need them most. If peradventure becomes that Senate president, it wouldn't work for that party.
But wouldn't that put the party on the point of weakness now? If they come up to say, okay, now everybody go to the poll, that would look like, okay, because
so
politics is give and take. Look, if you think you are moving, if you think you are on the path and you perhaps so that part is not too good, there's nothing stopping you from making a retreat. Retreat and say, look, how do I continue my journey? What this party should do now, I don't want to agree that it is too late, but what the party should do now is that, look, bring these people together. You understand? Pacify them and tell them the reason. Give them the reason why you think it is so person you want, and perhaps talk to them. You see, I believe by the time you bring Mr. President in, thank God he has not made that speech now that, oh, I can work with anybody. He realized that he could not work with anybody.
But he said he's standing with the party.
He said he's standing with the party.
So by that we know what that means.
So right now, let the president come there. I believe because most of them have a lot of respect for Mr. President. By the time Mr. President will come say, Ndume, you know you are my friend, or you know you are my boy. Douala, go and step down for your brother.
Not at this level.
So
not at this level.
No, but he said it depends on what he's giving.
You understand? He said, go and step down for this thing. Look, the Senate, you will be made this thing for in the Senate. You go and do this. You go and do this. Please, I hope I have your word. And they know if they say...
So you think the president has the power to handle this?
Yes, I think he has the power to handle it. Not the party chairman and not the party leader.
We have in the studio public affairs analyst, smart Apejoye, and political technocrat, Dr. Dayo, Kayode. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right, let's head straight to the papers now, and we'll start with The Guardian. Senate leadership legislators disagree over voting method. Ndume camp canvasses secret voting. Lawan group insists on open ballot. We'll move to The Nation now. Governors lose more amid battle for local government funds. Assembly judiciary allocations gone. Buhari urged to stop NFIU. To the front page of the blueprint, governors, why local government financial autonomy won't work, says the NFIU stoking mischief, urge Buhari's intervention. Senate, onto the front page of the Daily Sun now. Senate leadership tussle gets messy Allegation of arrests plot before inauguration and settles NAS and May Lawan's camp in intense lobby over voting method. To the front page of this day, Adamawa Kanu, Ogun Oyo, top list of Buhari's aides. Ogun Edo, Imo dominate boards, agencies role. Southwest, Northwest, Northeast lead in political appointments. And to the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, governors reject local government accounts monitoring by NFIU, want Buhari to call it to order. And to the front page of the Vanguard, storm over Obasanjo's stance on Fulanization agenda. Lamido, Musa, Junaid, Mohammed berate Obasanjo. Obasanjo is right, Ohaneze, Afenifere, Pandef, others. And finally, on the front page of the Daily Trust, residents groan as the water scarcity persists in states. All right, gentlemen, one story that I would like for us to look at is on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Governors lose more amid the battle for local government funds, and they are asking the president to intervene. What do you make of this? Did you see this coming? I'll start with you, Dr. Kayode.
Yes. Why is governors afraid of the monitoring of local government funds by NFIU? Listen to this. Before now, the money has been coming to you. Now, the government, the federal government is now talking about autonomy, because what we are saying is for democracy
To thrive.
to thrive, government has to be closer to the people. And who are those people? Which arm of government is closer to the people? Is it the state or the local government?
But
The
constitutionally, the states are supposed to handle this.
Constitutionally, the local government is supposed to be autonomous of the state.
But
When you look at it, the state is supposed to be autonomous of the federal, while the local government is supposed to be autonomous
But
of the
Section
state.
162, subsection 8 of the Constitution,
Yeah.
it talks about how the finance is supposed to be disbursed by the state.
Even at that, the section is saying how it should be disbursed. But as the governors been following it, have they been disbursing such money accordingly? You know why? Because most of the time, we don't have elected chairmen, we don't have elected members of their assembly, rather hand-picked people. And to that extent, federal government is now saying, look, democracy is not thriving. Government is not closer to the people. Let also have autonomous local governments with the finances. Because without finance, there is nothing that they can do. There will be that much control of the state executive or the local government. And the same thing even with the assembly.
Let's get Mr.
So why should NFIU not monitor that money?
No, let's get Mr. Apejoye's view on this now. The governors are saying that this is running contrary to what the Constitution states, which has been the argument of most people.
You see, in the first place, there are three arms. The Constitution recognizes three arms of governance in the country: the federal, the state, and the local governments. Now, the local government, let me tell you, the local government is supposed to have been the closest,
to
should have been the most popular in terms of governance in this country, because that is what we see abroad. If you hear of county or you hear of borough, these are local governments. They are doing well. You see, I don't know why every time the reverse is always the case in Nigeria. And if for once a government agency, that is the NFIU, is trying to say, look, let these people use their fund, and they had come up, and because they are saddled with that responsibility to say, with effect from June 1st, the local government will have their fund, and the state does not have control over it. Let it run. Let's see how it goes. Because the reason why the reason why the states are always wanting it is because of the fact that they have unimpeded access to the local government fund. They do anything they like with it. Most of the local government chairmen, they are sole administrators.
Yes.
They are sole administrators. They were not elected. And even though the ones that are elected, you see, it is the governor that has a hand in it in electing. Say, okay, this is whom we want. You see, it is not that in Nigeria. It is not that we wake up to the fact that it is not that we have a local government that will exist, that we operate autonomously, or let us even cancel that local government. Let it only be the federal and the state. Because
do you think that the NFIU's directive now will ensure that the local governments are autonomous?
Yes, so yes, that is what they are trying to do. Let local governments have their funds so that they can give account of their fund. And now we can begin to hold the local governments responsible. For goodness sake, why must we be doing things adversely? If you have any issue, in the United Kingdom, it is the bureau you go to. You don't start running to Alausa. But in Lagos, if you have anything, you are running to Alausa because even the local government, they are not even effective, they are not efficient. You don't even know who's your councillor for work, your supervisory councillor for works, or else. Go and look at all the health centers. Let these people operate on their own so we can begin to hold them responsible for their duty.
Dr. Kayode, the essence of this is to check corruption, especially when it comes to monies in the system. And now they are appealing to the president. And you know what his government stands for, fighting corruption. Do you think that he will yield to their pleas?
Number one, let me first of all look at that corruption aspect you're talking about. Before we can stop corruption in this country, you and I, the voters, we have to look critically at a kind of hegemonic structure
you need to break that down.
that we have in this country. Because all of them, corruption has eaten deep into their marrow. So stopping corruption, that is just an aspect. But now, for the governors to be saying they don't want these people to be looking into the accounts of the local government, I will tell Buhari, in as much as it is on that mantra of fighting corruption that brought him to the office, he shouldn't listen to them. Because before now, the money that have been passing through the governors to the local government have not been getting to them the way it's supposed to be. And that is why you see most of our roads, most of our maternity, most of our hospitals, they are not working. And then you see citizens. If you come to my area now, some of us are the ones that are working to ensure that we have good roads on that place. We use our money to bring in sand, this and that, to fill up all those things so that we can walk. But if the local government have been allowed to do their work accordingly and appropriately, by giving them enough funds, by now we wouldn't be saying this. Now and then it will assist democracy to thrive. Now
the governors forum are threatening to take the NFIU to court.
Let them go to court. I say I like this idea of going to the court. The court we do a proper interpretation. But you see, I think again, the NFIU again, we must commend their leadership again for bringing it up at this time. Because if they have brought this in before the election, they would have used, those governors would have gang up and fight against the president. Now the election is over. It is a 4-year race. So now Mr. President does not need them perhaps to endorse or to give him support. Right now, the elections are over, and
it's not looking for
nobody will now go and meet him. You see, they could play politics if Mr. President would have played politics. I see Mr. President standing on Mr. President will tell them, go to the court if you think NFIU has wronged you.
All right, Judge.
And I think that's where I stand.
Thank you for your time on the newspaper review.
Let's start from The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper is where we start from. Senate leadership, legislators disagree over voting method. Ndume camp over canvasses secret voting, and Lawan group insists on open ballot. So we wait to see how these things play out. The Guardian, that's what The Guardian said. Now let's move to The Nation. Governors lose more amid battle for local government funds. And Assembly judiciary allocations gone. Buhari urged to stop NFIU. Okay, that's The Nation. From The Nation, let's go to The Blueprint. Governors, why local government financial autonomy won't work. Say NFIU stalking mischief and urge Buhari's intervention. That's what The Blueprint is carrying on the front page. From The Blueprint, let's go to Daily Sun. Senate leadership tussle gets messy. Allegation of arrest, plot before inauguration unsettles National Assembly. Ndume Lawan's camps in intense lobby over voting method. Right, that's the Daily Sun. From the Daily Sun, let's go to this day. Adamawa, Kano, Ogun, Oyo, top list of Buhari's aides. And Ogun, Edo, Imo dominate boards, agencies role, and Southwest, Northwest, Northeast lead in political appointments. Okay, that's what this day is carrying. From this day, let's go now to the Nigerian Tribune. Governors reject local government accounts monitoring by NFIU, want Buhari to call it to order. Okay, the controversy still lingers. From the Tribune, let's go to the Vanguard. The Vanguard is saying storm over Obasanjo stands on Fulanization agenda. Lamido Musa Junaid Mohammed berate Obasanjo, and Obasanjo is right. Ohanesia, Fanifere, Pandef, others. Okay, it's still a back and forth thing. Moving from the Vanguard, let's go to Daily Trust, which is our last one this morning now. Residents groan as water scarcity persists in the states. Okay, gentlemen, I think we have to stick with this topic this morning right now. In Katsina State, for instance, the House of Assembly has summoned the Commissioner of Water Resources there to give account or to let them know what is going on. Not just in Katsina State, in some states generally, even in parts of Abuja, there has been scarcity of water. When it comes to clean water,
even in Lagos.
Yes, even when it comes to pipe-borne water, we grew up, you know, using taps from our kitchens and bathrooms and all of that. We don't see that anymore. Smart.
You see, it reminds me of Fela's song. We have rivers, we have everything, and yet we cannot get water to drink. I don't want to look at it from the Katsina angle alone. I want to look at it from the broader perspective. Yes. It is very sad, and that is why sometimes I probably don't want to talk on critical issues, because I even find that we are also part of the problem. Okay. You see, at this point of our life, 21st century, are we still supposed to be battling with getting water to drink? It is so sad. It is very, very sad. You see, that is why, again, I keep saying that, look, if we have different types of governance, let every aspect of the governance be responsible to our duty. The issue of water should have been the sole prerogative of the local government. We don't need a federal minister for water. Now, it's even more critical that even in the state of Mr. President, for his first 4 years, they could not even solve water problem. And also in Lagos, even in my house in Ikorodu, the water problem is not solved. I had to create my own borehole. And that is what we do. I have a farm also. I have to create borehole in that farm. Even though that farm is a government established farm site, we don't have water. Everybody has to do borehole. If we have about 100 farmhouse there, that means we have 100 boreholes. It is even sad. Wow. So that is to tell you that we have a problem and we're not seeing it. Everybody just go ahead with whatever he's doing.
All right, Dr. Kayode, does it seem like there is a grand, I wouldn't use the word agenda, but there's a grand issue somewhere? You know, now if you go to a restaurant to eat and you're going to be given water, you have to pay for that water differently. Now, as far as the books and the standards are concerned, water is supposed to be a human right. It's supposed to be available just like air. But that doesn't seem to be so.
You've hit the whole thing on the head now by telling me there is a grand suffering somewhere. And
I'm only asking. I'm only asking.
And human right aspect of it. And that is why I'm going to look at it from the behavioral pattern of the kind of leaders we have now. It is anachronistic to our political tenets, while at the same time it is antithetical to, for democracy to thrive in our society. How do I mean? When you look at what is happening now, is different from when we were having people like Papa Jashi, Jack Honde.
In the old Oyo and the Lagos.
In the old Nigeria that we had, that were thinking as regards bringing dividends of democracy to the people. Must we be talking about water shortages now? Where in better climes, they're talking about scientific achievements. how to eradicate malaria, how to eradicate HIV. United States, they're just planning now to launch the first woman in the orbit. But here we are, at our age and time, talking about water shortages.
Now, do you think this challenge is surmountable?
Of course it is. It is surmountable if only they have that political will.
Okay.
You see, we'll go back. Before, in Lagos, we used to have problem of water in the early 70s. So, because I was living at Apejoye then, I would have to trek with keg to Marine Beach at the fire station there to fetch water from Marine Beach to our house in Orodu Street in Apejoye. When Jakonde came, what did he do? Jakonde decentralized the water supply system. That was when we have Lagos State Mini Water Works. We had one very close to stadium there. We have one somewhere in Ijanikin.
That is
spread across.
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 But right now, I'm not sure these things are still working. They have collapsed all to Adinyo Water Works. You expect to bring water from Adinyo to the people in Ekpe, and you think they will get water. You expect to take water from Adinyo to Ikorodu, to Igbogbo, to Bayeku, to Ijede, and you think they will still get water. We have a problem. The problem, how to solve that problem is that go back to the working templates. Decentralize this water source. Let all the water sources, let them work. Go and create a mini water works in every local government. And now we are ready to pay. Nigerians are ready to pay for services rendered, but you will not give us. You're not providing services.
Do you know, Mike, these
just
people
because
will not
you
do
connect water
that.
to my house, you now need to come and pay, even though the water is not flowing. Just like they connect light to your house,
all right.
they expect to come and pay.
Now the government even has issues with the issue of boreholes that have been dug and sunk everywhere now, and we're looking forward to.
I'm saying the government will not do
I'm sorry,
that.
we have to leave you here now, Dr. Kayode. There's so much to talk about, but we have to leave you here now.
So
Dr. Dayo Kayode, thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
Smart Apejoye, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Right. You're watching TVC Breakfast, and we are streaming live on YouTube. You can connect with us on Twitter using the hashtag TVC Breakfast. It's still to come on the show.